the music.
Okay. Oh, we're streaming. It's working.
Oh.
There we
That's
go.
interesting. You should definitely tell everybody that. Oh, so it is up now? We are up.
We are up and running.
We are back. Yay! Woohoo!
Yay!
So tell everybody about your game here.
Yes, why don't you introduce yourself, explain your team a little bit, where you're from,
Okay, hi, I'm Kesh from E1 Studio. We are an indie studio based in Malaysia. And Hoodwink is our first game on the PC. So, yeah, it's a point-and-click adventure game, and basically, we look back to the old LucasArts, type of games. Like, have you guys played Full Throttle and Grim Fandango and stuff?
Yeah,
I've played a lot of Monkey Island.
Monkey Island is definitely
Monkey Island.
But I'm sure a lot of people have seen lots of these types of this genre of games.
Yeah. So we really love games that focus a lot on the narrative. So that's the reason why we decided to make a game like this, because point and click, we thought it was making a comeback, especially with Telltale games. We really look up to Telltale games, and they brought back Sam and Max, and the other games. And recently they're doing really well now with The Walking Dead. So we thought, hey, why not? Our strong suit is actually telling great stories, so we decided to make an adventure game. And in the game development scene in Malaysia is really, really small. I think there's only a handful of us here. And yeah, so we've no experience, and everything that we're learning basically from the internet. There's nobody we can call up and say, hey, what do I do next year, stuff like that.
Right.
So, but we're really passionate about it. So what we thought was the best thing, instead of to go for a game which requires like a lot of shooting and stuff, and a little bit more complicated. So we decided to go for a point and click game. And like I said earlier, narrative is our strong suit. Mm. And that's why we came up with Hoodwink.
No, I love the world you created for it as well. How did you describe it? It's like a post-apocalyptic...
Dystopian post-apocalyptic. Yeah, it's actually post-apocalyptic in the sense that, some big, disaster happened a long time ago, and everybody's concentrated within this, giant metropolis. They call global, and this one is called Global O1. There's another Global O2 and a Global O3 as well, but Global O1 has kind of like lost contact with Global O2 and Global O3. So they're like these little islands of civilizations, that's clinging to civilization basically, but the whole place is basically governed by this mega corporation called Unicorn. And Unicorn, they're evil, okay? Yeah, they have to be, I guess. But the thing about it, they're really polite at the same time. They make sure that their police are always smiling when they're beating you up. One of their taglines is unlawfulness will be met with courteous and lethal response. So, these are the weird things that go on in Hoodwink, and then we're really inspired by LucasArts games. So that's why we always had a ball playing these games. You see, it was like always a good laugh, and we wanted to do that with Hoodwink as well.
Yeah, and this is if I'm right, this is episode 1, so it's going to be
yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. In fact, on our submission on Greenlight is actually for the whole series. It's not just for episode 1. It's for episode 1, 2, and 3. At the moment, we have only got plans for 3 episodes, and it also depends on how well the game does overall, basically.
Right. No, I understand. It's hard to put that kind of effort into something when you're not going to necessarily make any money on it. You need to make a living and everything.
Oh, and it's really expensive making a game like this. We had like really big ambitions and stuff like that. Really like this whole area here. It's called Kongyan. It's the Chinese district of Global O1. So it's kind of like a Chinatown, and it's actually based on one of the earliest shopping malls here in Malaysia. And you are actually next to a canal. It feels like this is a bridge that's crossing a canal. So.
I have a thing that I'm noticing here. Hi, by the way, this is Josh from Indie Static.
Hey, welcome back, Josh.
I found my mouse pad, everyone. We can all
Hooray!
We can all get back to our lives. So it turns out that every city in the world has a Chinatown, including video game cities. This is awesome. I love it.
Oh yeah, man. In Malaysia, we are basically very multicultural. I mean, we've got Malays, Chinese, and Indians. So, a lot of people tend to say you find Chinese and Indians just about everywhere. And I'm Indian, by the way, so I can basically attest to that. But we want to make it as multicultural as much as the game. We wanted to include a lot of characters, a lot of interesting characters, because we see them every day here in Malaysia. There's so much different types of people, and don't want to say it's stereotyping, but we like our diversity. We like what makes us different here. So that's what we want to relay in the game as well. And in fact, we wanted to add our own additional characters. When you were outside, you saw there was this robot. His name is Brick. He's actually not a robot. He's actually his body is a robot, but his brain is attached to the robot. We call them second chances.
I saw the poster for that in the green. I thought that was so awesome.
Yeah, was at the. We really wanted to put a lot of this stuff. You see, this. I'm not sure where you are right now, but there's actually.
Where should I be going?
Where are you actually right now? I'm just worried about the delay.
I am inside the building that I started in, and
okay.
By the cold crate.
Go all the way to the right. Hello.
While you're oh wait, yeah, you have the delay, right? I'll just shut my mouth so I'm not screwing this up.
It looks like Calvin's just walking around, so if you had something to say, I think it's an okay time.
Well, what I wanted to say, you were talking about the culture of diversity, and I think that for a lot of people, they're afraid to comment on something because you called it stereotyping, and I think for a lot of people, they feel that stereotyping is, there's a negative connotation with that, but really what you're doing is not stereotyping, you're just taking the cultural differences and kind of shedding light on them, and just talking about them, because, I mean, hey, we're all there are a million cultures in this world, and we should be able to at least acknowledge the fact that they're different rather than running away from it because we feel that people are going to be offended, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's really, really true. I mean, that's one thing we do here in Malaysia. I mean, we really love our diversity, and we're not too shy about it. We're not too PC about it. I would to say not politically correct about it. We just like to revel in it actually. So
sure.
But it's one of the things that we're trying to relay in this game, actually. But you have to keep moving all the way to the right, if I'm sure. Are you talking with Saffron already?
I am.
Saffron, one of the biggest
providers
in Kongyan with her organic alternatives to Unicor's products.
When you guys started playing, putting the game together, just kind of early conceptualizing stuff. I mean, obviously, you said the game's huge, and you said it was a little bit maybe too much for you guys. You bit off too much. What is that saying? You bit off more than you can chew?
Yeah.
There you go. How did you guys deal with that? Just for anybody who's a developer out there, I get that question a lot. And I have talked to developers in the past who've told me that the biggest thing for a new developer is that they overestimate, or rather underestimate, their scope. Or overestimate. Yeah, they just they want to make an MMORPG for their first game. And it's well, wait a sec.
Don't know anybody's done that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
well, Legend of Dungeon turned out great.
Yes, but
That's because we didn't make it an online MMO.
like our first
As
game.
our first game. It was our third. And we got no networking.
Oh, really? See, I didn't know that. That's hilarious. I was actually literally just told that by Connor Allman, who did Seedling and other Adult Swim style games.
No, our first game was an MMO.
Yeah.
A lot of bad memories.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Well, then maybe both of you guys can talk about that. What having a scope that's too big, or for a new developer not understanding that you have to have a realistic scope. What did you guys do in Hoodwink specifically to kind of pare that back? And make it a little more digestible or creatable for a developer.
In our case, I think we came to that conclusion a little bit too late. But now, so we had to learn through experience. We were like, okay, what do we do now? So that we had to scale back quite a lot of stuff. And that's now we know better. We know, okay, basically what our capabilities are. So we limit ourselves now, but we basically just learned everything through experience, that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So,
Well, I mean, what could you have an example of that?
Little metal around
Oh.
Just with this game?
calls himself
Whether it's
Uh,
this dialogue, story, a lot of people in the creative world, they talk about killing your babies, which is an awful term, but you have so many things that you want to pack into a game and you can't, so you have to start killing them off, unfortunately, and you grow attached to some of them.
I mean,
what babies did you have to kill for Hoodwink?
There are a few actually, and I don't want to bring too many up because it's all so painful. But in this level right now, when you're talking,
Yes, killing babies is painful.
Towards the left, we have basically two people talking. It sounds like a radio broadcast. It's actually this kind of thing in the center of this place where you are. It's supposed to have like a holographic screen of two people talking with each other, but we didn't have. It was too expensive, so we had to remove it in the end. We didn't do it in the end. So, that's just one of the examples. But we're much wiser now, so we are really careful when it comes to through episode 2. However, we are also working on an enhanced version of episode 1, which we plan to release sometime after episode 2 as well.
When you say enhanced, what kind of changes are you making to it? Just curious.
We're making a few changes, especially are you talking about episode 1 and episode 2? Episode 1, right? Enhanced version. Basically, we are going to make the game basic navigation. We're going to make it a lot easier, and the camera angles as well. We are going to improve on that so that people, and we're going to make the tasks a little bit more clearer. Right now, from our feedback, people said that.
I'm sorry, the robot just ate the chocolate, sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's the second chancer, right? And he's delusional as well. He really thinks he's a real boy.
Don't have a bath.
Oh, sorry.
You're a
Okay.
second chancer, kid. A brain suspended in a mechanical shell.
I totally
Don't
I
be
totally
silly,
like when I
guten
think
Herr.
about how the
But I
navigation
cannot
for
be
the
follow
game is
so
right now. I totally
sings.
see how improving,
Well, you know what they
improving that
say.
is gonna make
The truth
the game
hurts,
so much
kiddo.
better.
Well, Herr,
Yes.
smarty pants.
pretty good right now, but there's a few
If
little
Reich was one of
touchy
those
spots.
freaks, how can Reich eat
Oh
such
yeah,
chocolate?
we know about that, and we're gonna be certainly cleaning all of that up as well. And also when it comes to tasks, I think a lot of people were not too sure where to go. I mean, because there's a lot of this cartoon logic, especially because we were inspired by the old LucasArts types of games. You really need this leap of logic to actually complete a task. Combine this thing with that, and what am I supposed to do next? So something weird like that. So we don't want to do that anymore. So it's something that we decided on for the benefit of players actually. So that's not going to be around anymore. And so your tasks are going to be much more clearer, and you basically going to have multiple solutions to a task. That's for episode 2, not for the enhanced version of episode 1.
Cool. Awesome.
I've got a question for you in terms of voice acting. Malaysia. Now, I'm not sure how big the market is where you guys are, but in America, where I live, Los Angeles and San Francisco and, Seattle, kind of the West Coast, and then, you have Boston and Bethesda and stuff over there. But, the market here is huge. How do you guys go about finding voiceover actors? Is there a big kind of pool to choose from where you're from, or do you guys have to outsource that stuff?
All the voice talent here is local. It's all done by Malaysian, but the thing is, there are a lot of them, but there are very few who are actually really good. So we managed to there were only 1-2 really good guys, and this guy who did most of the voices here. His name was Gavin, and he really did a good job, especially with Michael, the main character in the game.
Sorry, hun, but Sappy
So
Yeah.
to answer your question is there are a lot of people running about, but they're not really professionals yet. You know what I mean?
Right. They're like amateur
Yeah.
voice actors.
Yes, that's right.
No
I love that, though,
The root of all evil is what
because I fancy myself an amateur voiceover actor. So there.
You're like an
Today's the day I'm
indie
gonna
voice
propose to
actor.
my fiance.
You
Yeah.
learn with experience, and you have lots of exuberance.
Tell you what,
Yeah, I mean, you're great because we can like tune into your show and we can see like, oh, thousands of videos of you and your voice is awesome, mate. But like when it comes to Malaysia, a lot of people don't have a portfolio, you know. They just come and say, hey,
Only thing up there
I sound
is
good.
building a trash compactor.
Here's some gloves, flower child. They'll protect your hand from sickly, sweet-smelling baby.
I love the art style, and this is great. I mean, cell shading. Somebody in chat said it earlier. It's kind of one of those like
Flowers, huh?
That's right, hun.
classic
Nothing
kind
beats
of
a beauty like a
aesthetics,
crown of
you know,
flowers and
where we look at it and we're like, yep,
bed.
I get it. This is great.
Sure. Just like Sister Summers as she stood up.
You know, that's actually not really intentional. I mean, it wasn't our intention in the first place. We didn't want to have it cel shaded at all. It was just like a last minute tweak. You know, something that just happened accidentally, and then we decided, hey, let's just go with this.
In a percussion number by
I love
Sometimes-
it when accidents like that happen.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, there are actually games that come about from accidents. What is one in particular where they like? I was talking to a developer and they're like, "Oh yeah, we totally messed this up during a game jam, and then it just worked, and people thought it was hilarious, so we just kept it in the game, and then that became the main mechanic."
That maybe have been us with our last Ludum Dare. Actually,
Oh, is it?
we
I doubt it.
No. Remember the telekinetic part was an
The
accident.
telekinetic part was a mistake.
Which became like the main mechanic behind the game, where we were like, I was like, well, I need to pick it up, or she needs to pick up the objects that are in the house, and so we pressed the button and I popped the object to appear overhead, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't really work. I need to suck the object towards it, and after that, the first attempt at sucking the object towards the character was
Very
with
telekinetic.
gravity kind of swirling objects around the head. I'm like, oh, well, that works. And then we decided. Sorry, I'm telling a story.
Stop telling stories,
No.
Calvin.
I mean,
love
it's
it.
awesome when it happens.
Chatty when he's tired.
I'm not sure if this is the case or not, but you play a game like Quap or Clop, and I'm like, all right, when you made Quap, was it supposed to be as hilarious looking, or was he actually trying to be like, you know what, I want to make a legitimate, game where you're actually running and controlling legs, and then it turned into Quap, and we're all like, yes, this is great. Everyone plays it. I would assume the hilariousness of that game was an accident. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he purposely made it hilarious.
It makes it funnier if it's an accident. Absolutely.
Yeah. Make the
And then you
story
just keep it. And then rather than like, oh, okay, back to the drawing board, it's like, screw it. Let's put this out there. I promise people will like it. And they do. Actually, I saw a Quap cosplayer, and it was the funniest thing
Anyone
I've ever seen.
Little metal round red dude.
Because he was
Okay.
great.
Calls himself Bricks, I think.
Not to talk
Thanks,
about
Seth.
Quap, because we're
I'll go
talking about
find our
Hoodwink.
little red
Right, I
friend
know.
and
See
if
if
we
get
can't
chatty
come
and
to
then
an
suddenly we're
agreement.
talking about all kinds of stuff.
No, that's okay. I mean, as long as it feels natural,
I did actually have a question. Because these are episodic. How long is each episode, or do you know? Because I don't know how long this one is even. But is it going to be standard or?
This one's actually about 3 hours long. I mean, you can really bulldoze through it in a much faster time. But if you want to take the time to talk to everybody and stuff, it takes about 3 hours. And for episode 2, we are trying to make it a slightly longer, and probably we're trying to make it slightly longer for episode 2 as well.
Awesome.
There's a lot going on here in terms of just the environment, right? Like, I feel like it's kind of cyberpunk, steampunk. Like, there's a couple of things kind of mishmashing here. What did you guys have in mind with that? Maybe I missed it when I was looking for my mouse pad.
No, I mean, we're heavily inspired by Blade Runner and the LucasArts games.
Yes.
That's our biggest inspiration, and also by things in Malaysia as well, especially this area here. They're kind of like large shopping complexes which have all this type of build up.
God, I want to go to Malaysia. If that's what you guys have over there,
Oh, please come, please.
What am I
man.
doing wasting away in Los Angeles? I need to be there with all the cool stuff.
However, don't come around right now. There's some forest fires going on in Indonesia, and we're covered in the smog from there.
Well, I live in a place that is perpetually covered in smog, so that wouldn't be.
I don't, not like this, mate.
Man, oh man. So, are you guys currently in development for episode 2, or are you waiting until the Greenlight resolves itself?
No. We are actually working on episode 2 right now, and we are also working on episode 3 actually. In fact, we're trying to wrap up episode 2 soon, but we can't really commit on the release date just yet.
Sure. In terms of story arc, I'm always curious to know when people put games out like episodes. Now, did you guys do it like a mini series where you kind of already had the entire story arc throughout the episodes, or are you doing it more of like we're going story from episode 1 and then you'll write the story for episode 2 and so on?
The story arc was there. Yeah, we do have a story arc already, but it's only basically like for season 1. We don't have the story arc for season 2 yet.
Gotcha.
And season 1 is just basically episode 1, 2, and 3.
Wonderful.
Pre-apocalypse milk.
Do you play much of what's adventure games, Josh?
I'm sorry?
Do you play a lot of adventure games?
I do play them when I review them or do the Super Nintendo Spotlight or write some stuff for them, but admittedly, adventure games aren't my biggest jam.
Right.
I like them, especially ones with good stories. But I don't know. There's something in Jesse and I, when we do the Greenlight, he's very into the story. He loves like the lore of it, and I love the lore of a game. But I am the kind of person who doesn't read all the prompts when I should, and Jesse's the one who's like takes all the time to do so, and I'm just like, I just want to go win.
Oh man.
That's standard between groups of people, definitely.
Time has flown. It is already just about time. Was there any last things you wanted to say? Before.
Yeah, sure. I mean, please vote us up on Greenlight. We'd really appreciate it. And we also want to have a shout out to all our supporters, especially Velo of VO, aka Carlos. You rock, bro. Thanks.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah. Everybody should definitely support the game if they think it looks neat and they want to give it a shot. The game is released this first episode. They can get it if they want to.
Yeah, the game is currently released right now in episode 1, so you can get it on Desura, Gamersgate, Adventure Shop, and Just Adventure. Oh, Origin as well.
Tell you what, you go find some
get on it.
for Sappy, and I'll whip something up.
All right, Calvin, we're going to be passing the stream over to Josh.
Buried treasure?
Okay.
Upstairs?
Anyway, thanks, guys. Really appreciate you doing the show as well, and thank you, Josh.
There's some gloves for
Yeah,
you.
thanks a lot, man.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for
Sickly
giving us
sweet
copies of the
smelling
game to
juice.
play here. It's showing.
Yeah, see you later at 12.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Awesome. We'll see you later.